Hi gang, Marion here for day 13 of the Costco Wine Adventure Advent Calendar, and today we're heading back to Bulgaria. Specifically, we are going right back to where we were a couple days ago, to the Danube Plain. Now, today we're going to be trying the 12 Generations Merlot. As always, remember, if you're drinking along, scan the QR code. It will take you to day 12 on the Advent Calendar website. If you do not have the set, I will drop the website in the description for you, and you can follow right along with us. The website has cute little YouTube videos averaging about 40 seconds long, and then a cute little write-up and synopsis about the wine, the winemakers, processes, and just the characteristics of the wine. All right, so as we discussed a couple days ago, we were trying the Timok River. That was that Riesling that we had from Bulgaria. This is an up-and-coming wine region. Now, this area has been making wine for generations, but it was considered a lost art for a long time in that area. It is now coming back into mainstream. A lot of young winemakers have gone out into the world, have been educated by some amazing winemakers. They've brought all these skills back to Bulgaria, and now they are making wine there. There is only a handful of vineyards that you can visit in their area. A lot of them are smaller farms, but you can go visit some of them. But I do want to caution you that this area is relatively untouched by infrastructure and the tourism industry. So there's not a whole lot of vineyards that you can go to yet. All right, so let's talk about the climate, the terroir, all about that area. Now, the Danube Plain is basically the northern part of Bulgaria. It is situated between the Danube River, the foothills of the Balkan Mountains, the Timok River, and the Black Sea. So you have a lot of Mediterranean influence, but you also have the mountain air, the continental influences. So it's a really cool place. The soil in the area, from what we talked about with the Riesling a couple days ago, is created by forest vegetation. It's fertile and it's a dark soil. You can also call it loamy. Now that's a 40-40-20 mixture of sand, silt, and clay. So 40 sand, 40 silt, 20 clay. Some of the principal reds that you will see in the area are called Pommier, Gamza, Cab Sauv, and Merlot. And it just so happens that today we are trying a Merlot from that region. I will tell you guys, I've already tried this. I'm a little meh. So I'm not very excited about the wine like I was yesterday or a couple days ago, but it's still a good wine. So let's jump in and let's talk about it. First, let's try the bouquet. And what I mean by trying bouquet, stick your nose in the glass, give it a whiff. You get a little bit of red fruit. If you're having trouble smelling the wine in your glass, if you're just, I can't smell anything, I don't know. Here's a really cool trick for you. And it's pretty similar to what I showed you the other day, where we put the piece of saran wrap over the glass, let it sit for a while, and then stuck the straw in and breathed in through our mouth to get those outer nose smells into our palate and into our nose. I have just a little plastic ramekin here that I poured some wine into. And you want to get a cover for it as well. You can use saran wrap if you don't have one. And if you just have a bowl and you want to pour a little bit in there, you can do this too. So what happens is, in all this empty space, the aromas of the wine will start to fill up in there. And you'll get a higher concentration of them in a very small area. So what you can do is keep it covered for a while, open the cap, and then you'll get a whole lot more of those aromas in there. This is what I do when I need a little bit of help. Just let it sit, come back to it, and go, oh, okay, I can smell that now. Okay, so very, very jammy on the bouquet. Lots of tart red fruit. In particular, I'm picking up raspberry. This kind of reminded me of a Virginia red. Virginia reds tend to be very raspberry in the bouquet. It smells very tart, so I'm a little bit like, oh, is it very tarty? So let's find out. Let's go ahead and take our first sip. Remember, we're gonna swish. Let it hit every spot on your palate. Very tart. Very tart, particularly right at the end of the tongue and underneath of the tongue. Now, the medium acidity of this wine does create that mouth-watering sensation from underneath the tongue. So you will salivate quite a bit, but it's medium, so it's not overwhelming. But because of the tartness, you're like, woo! You get a lot of mouth-watering sensation. I get a lot of tart cherry, tart cranberry, lots of pucker power that we just talked about. An interesting thing about this wine is the tannins kind of grab just right up here at the top of the mouth, and they particularly grab on the side of the tongue. Here. Now down the center of the tongue, there, I'm getting a lot of those cherry, red fruit, tart, sour flavors. So it's an interesting mouthfeel of a wine. Now, oh, there goes my ice maker. Sorry, game. Now, this wine was, if you look at the back of the label, it is a 2020 vintage. That means that this has not had a whole lot of time to age in its oak barrel. It's also a blend of oak and steel. So you're not gonna get those velvety mouthfeels. You're gonna get more of that pucker power because it's a blend of the stainless steel. Also, because it's a young wine, it's not going to grow into a body. This probably needs to lay down for a good 3 years before it becomes a better wine. Now, I suggest this for a new red wine drinker. And the reason why I suggest that is because if you notice how winemakers start out in their journey, it's typically a sweet Riesling or a Gewürztraminer or some sort of very sweet and fruity type wine, Sauvignon Blanc, anything like that. For a newer wine drinker who's looking to go into the red wine world or the dark side, I recommend this. A nice young red wine is not going to be super spicy. It's not going to be overpowering. Those tannins are not going to grab their teeth and then go, ah! This is very, very easy for them to drink. Put this on the table in front of them. If they're like, no red wine, I don't like red, put this on the table in front of them, serve it as a table wine. It's a great table wine. You can serve it with hors d'oeuvres, you can serve it with your salad, chicken, pork. I would find it hard to stand up to your heavier cuts of red. I don't think it's going to. And it's going to be so sweet, I don't know if I would do that. You could also pair this with your lighter cheeses. I would stay lighter with this one since it's pretty light in its body, and it's only got that medium acidity. So I wouldn't go much past, cheddar, Comté, those types of things. But definitely can do a goat cheese. A spinach salad with like feta or another type of goat cheese would be a great pairing with this. Especially something you can have cranberries in. This will go great with that because of those cranberry notes. So gang, I just want to say thank you for joining me again all the way to day 13. I do want to share some sad news with you guys. My Advent calendar did not pass the kid test. So we gotta change things up a little bit on the fly. But they at least saved day 13 for me. So we got cute little gloves on there. You can see that. All right, gang, so cheers to day 13. I'm so excited for day 14 tomorrow. I can't wait to see you all then. Until then, cheers, happy holidays. See you tomorrow.